Scott wrote in. He says, I'm thinking of leaving my current freight brokerage for another. I have about 20 good customers, and I'm wondering if I should try and take this book of business with me. There is no non-compete with my current brokerage. Thanks. All right. Well, you're going to have to look at the contract. First of all, if you are an employee broker, in other words, you're an employee of the freight brokerage, they've been paying you a salary, they're withholding taxes, you get the benefits, all that kind of stuff. You're an employee, not an agent, not contracted in any way. You are an employee. I would be surprised if they did not have you sign something, not necessarily a no-compete, but sign something when you hired on that stated their proprietary information remained their property. Any customers they have is their property. Okay. A non-compete just means you can't go to work for another company performing the same service or doing that type of work at another company for X amount of time after you leave that company. But I would be very surprised if you did not sign something where the broker said, hey, any information derived, be it customers or otherwise, stays here if you quit. So you want to make sure you're checking all that out before you do anything. Now, because you're an employee, that's a whole different ball of wax there. You're an employee. It's the employer-employee relationship. Now, if you're a freight broker agent, you still want to read your broker-agent agreement. Make sure there's no wording in there. Matter of fact, you should have done this before you contracted on. Check out the contract to make sure there's no wording in there that would limit you working your customers when you leave, or as you said, there's not a no-compete. You don't want anything like that in a broker-agent contract. But generally, if you're an agent, your customers are your customers. The broker benefits from your book of business, your customer base, while you are contracting and working through that brokerage. That's why you're going to find most broker-agent contracts are exclusive. You can't be out here contracted to 3 or 4 different brokerages. And you wouldn't want to anyway. It'd be a nightmare for you. And if you wonder why, well, every customer is going to have to be approved. Every trucking company is going to have to be approved. You're going to have to keep up with who's approved with what company. You're going to have different load boards, because one load board is going to say this company and is the broker. The other load board, this company. Yeah, and then if you try to just, I'll save my money, I'll just use one load board for everything. Yeah, but, what about the other company? You see what I mean? It turns into a nightmare. It's going to be looking more like a bait and switch than anything else. You're not doing it that way. You're just trying to save money, but still, I don't think the broker whose MC number you're using for the load board would appreciate it very much. You're advertising their name. Is advertised on the load board as their load, and then you broker it as another company. See what I mean? It's a nightmare. You don't want to do that. But as a freight broker agent, if you obtain these customers on your own, you should have every right to take those customers with you. This is what I always tell all of my clients. The customer, they're not buying the brokerage. Never say never, but they're not buying the brokerage. They're buying you, the individual. Now, what do I mean by that? These people in shipping, they can lose their job over mistakes, minor mistakes. If they choose to use you as one of their brokers and they'll let you broker one of their loads, they want to make sure that load's right, that they can trust you with that load. If you make a mistake or don't follow through or don't protect them or show them that you are protecting them, any issues could come back on them. This is part of your customer service as a freight broker, making sure you're protecting your own customer. You see what I'm saying? You know their loads, you know what's going on. you're checking and double checking. You are doing everything you can to protect your customer. And as you are protecting that customer, you're also protecting that person in shipping. Meaning once they figure out that you've got their back, your head's in the game. We've talked about this before, that your head is in the game. They will want to use you again and again and again. Okay, so keep that in mind. So it's really depending on, are you an employee of the freight brokerage? Are you an independent agent? Now, one more thing I will say about this. Where did you get these loads? Even if you're an agent, if the broker made these loads available to you, it's probably in your contract too. Yes, you can take your own loads with you, your own customers with you, but any customers we make available to you while you're contracted through our brokerage, they remain with us. You gotta check this stuff out. Read the contract. But if you've been an employee, I would be very, very surprised if, as part of your employment, original employment, you did not sign something stating that you cannot work their customers if you ever left that company. No, check and double check. You'll see what I mean. If you got any questions, feel free to call me. 479-668-0838.